Honorable Prime Minister, Fiame, Naomi, Mataafa, Members of Parliament, members from the private sector, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency, the Ambassador of Israel to Samoa, Mr. Yaakoby, and his good lady, Deborah Yaakoby, it is an honor for me to welcome you to this event. Thank you for making the time to come tonight to celebrate the presentation of the credentials from His Excellency, which happened yesterday, tonight, and also to celebrate 75 years of establishment of the State of Israel. Now, I know you're not here to listen to me much, so I will now step back, but it is my honor and my privilege to welcome His Excellency, Mr. Yaakoby. Mr. Ambassador, thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister, ministers, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Good evening. Talofa lava. Shalom. I would like to thank the government and the people of the independent state of Samoa for hosting me for my first visit to your beautiful country. A short paragraph in my language, Hebrew. תודה שהגעתם היום. אנו שמחים להיות איתכם, אנו מייצגים את ישראל ואת העם היהודי ששורשיו בני אלפי שנים. נטועים עמוק באדמת ארץ הקודש, עליה הלכו אברהם, יצחק, יעקב, המלך דוד, המלך שלמה וכמובן ישו. כולם אבותיי גם כן. Now I shall repeat in English for those who don't follow the Hebrew. I am very excited to be here today and happy to be with you. I represent Israel and the Jewish people whose roots are thousands of years old, deeply rooted in the soil of the Holy Land, on which Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, King David, and King Solomon, and of course Jesus, walked upon. All of them are my ancestors too. I was born in Israel as the first of 3 sons. My name, Ran, means sings happily in Hebrew, thus expressing the joy of my parents of creating a new family 75 years ago, immigrating to Israel, both of them as children, and creating the family in the ancient Jewish homeland following many, many generations of living in the diaspora in despair. The story of my family is the story of triumph against all odds. Like the story of my people, the Jewish people, and of my homeland, Israel. It begins with living in the ancient biblical kingdom of Israel and enduring multiple occupiers until the Greek Empire took over. Following a brave but hopeless revolt against the occupiers, my forefathers were taken to Greece as slaves around 300 BC. There are still remains of a Jewish synagogue built in Greece by Jews around 200 BC. Later, the Greek Empire was taken by the Roman Empire. The Jews from Greece and Israel were expelled to the Balkan and Southern Europe, Spain, Portugal, Bulgaria, and many more countries. Then rose the Byzantine Empire, took over the Roman Empire. The Byzantines tolerated the Jews, as long as they obeyed and paid special taxes. My ancestors flourished, but not for long. Then came the Turkish Ottoman Empire, extended to the Balkan and to the Middle East. The rule was ended by the British mandate at the end of the First World War. Then Nazi Germany took over most of Europe and provoked World War II. Under the Nazi regime, 6 million Jews and many others were violently exterminated during the Second World War. Among them, most of my European ancestors, Jews who lived in the Jewish diaspora. Jews could not feel safe anymore in Europe and chose to immigrate to Israel immediately after the Jewish state was declared finally independent in 1948. In actuality, they closed the circle, a circle that lasted many generations. They followed the prophecies, and I quote Ezekiel 20:34, "I will bring you from the nations and gather you from the countries where you have been scattered, with a mighty hand and an outreached arm and with outpoured wrath." Or Isaiah 11:11-12. "In that day the Lord will reach out his hand a second time to reclaim the remnants that is left of his people from Assyria, from Lower Egypt, from Upper Egypt, from Cush, from Elam, from Babylonia, from Hamath, from the islands of the sea. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judea from the four quarters of the earth." Today, the Jewish people have successfully built an independent, democratic, and flourishing state with a high level of public and social services, sophisticated technologies, and innovative marketplace, while reviving its ancient Hebrew language. Yes, we can read the Bible in the origin today. Despite the continued threat to our existence, Israel wishes to live in secure borders while enjoying real and lasting peace. The recent signing of the Abraham Accords with the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, Morocco, joined with our previous peace accords with Egypt and Jordan, prove that through direct negotiations, peace and normalization of diplomatic and business ties are possible and are beneficial for all partners in many ways. During the last year, 4 new embassies and consulates of our new partners have opened in Israel. Israel has also opened new embassies and consulates as a result of the warming relations with many of its neighbors, and we are hoping to enlarge this circle of peace in the future. Israel is still hopeful to reach a peace agreement with more of its neighbors, including with the Palestinians. In the Pacific, Israel has been actively engaging through Mashav, Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation. In February 2020, our former president, His Excellency Reuven Rivlin, attended the Pacific Islands Leaders Summit in Fiji. The leaders agreed to strengthen further cooperation between the State of Israel and Pacific Island countries to support efforts to address sustainable development challenges based on the unique experience and innovative skills of Israel in the fields of public health, food security, water management, agricultural technology, renewable energy, climate change, adaptation and mitigation, among others. The recent completion of the Israeli Agricultural Innovation Training Program by 10 senior-level officers from Samoa Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, in addition to last year's course in Israel on vegetable production techniques and technologies of professionals from the Pacific Island states, in which 3 Samoans took part with full scholarships, are evidence of the strong relations between Israel and the Pacific, and Israel is eager to share more of these initiatives with Samoa. Another important milestone in our friendship is an agreement of the visa exemption for holders of diplomatic, service, official, national, and ordinary passports, which will soon come into effect. Madam Prime Minister, we agreed that even before it will come into effect, we will respect this agreement, and basically Samoans are welcome to Israel. It's already in the border control systems. This agreement will enable travelers from Samoa greater access to Israel, and we look forward to welcoming you all to the Holy Land. Equally, it is Israel's desire to take part in activities of the Asian Development Bank in the Pacific region, and we thank Samoa for its support. It is a great pleasure to be here in beautiful Samoa, where my time is being dedicated to enhancing Israel and Samoa's already strong, long-lasting and strategic friendship, including the exploration of further collaborative projects which will bring mutual benefit to our peoples. Please let me conclude by extending my deepest wish of success, well-being and prosperity to you all and to your wonderful country, Samoa. Thank you. Fafatai Lava and Shalom.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that wonderful speech. I now have the honor and the privilege to welcome the Honorable Prime Minister of the Independent State of Samoa, Fiame Naomi Mataafa, for her keynote address. Honorable Prime Minister.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Ran Yaakoby and Mrs. Yaakoby, ministers, members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to join you all in welcoming to Samoa the Ambassador of Israel to Samoa in the celebration of the presentation of his letters of credence to the member of Council of Deputies earlier this week. Samoa established diplomatic relations with Israel in 1977. Through the United Nations and other international fora, Samoa and Israel have worked collaboratively to promote issues of mutual interest, such as maintaining prosperity, peace, and security. We also share common interests in addressing challenges in the areas of sustainable development, human rights, poverty, terrorism, transnational crime, and climate change. We are aware that Israel is willing to share its experience as a country advanced in ingenuity, creativity, and innovation in fields such as agrotechnology, public health, food security, water management, education, irrigation, green energy, and cyber technology with developing countries such as Samoa. In 2017, Samoa supported the government of Israel in their request to become a full member of the Asian Development Bank. And we like the idea that we have a friend in the Development Bank sitting on the board. There have been many opportunities for high-level visits to Israel, including pilgrimages by faith-based groups and individuals. As mentioned by the ambassador, in 2018, a visa waiver agreement was signed in Jerusalem during the visit of the former Prime Minister, Honorable Tuilaepa, and a diplomatic note to the Embassy of Israel advising the completion of internal procedures for the visa waiver agreement to enter into force was sent in April this year. Thank you, Ambassador, that you have fast-forwarded the implementation of that agreement. Israel has provided training in a range of fields, namely health and nutrition, agribusiness, and the empowerment of women, to name a few. In 2018, as also alluded to by the ambassador, 13 Pacific Island journalists, oh no, you were talking about the agriculturalists, I'm talking about the journalists. So 13 Pacific Island journalists, including Samoa, toured Israel. This was the first time in the state's 50 years since it became independent, where a group of media practitioners from print, radio, and television in the Pacific could visit and see Israel through their own eyes. In January 2022, a regional training program for participants from Pacific Island countries on agricultural extension methods and tools was organized by Mashav, their agricultural training center, under the framework of the Israel-Pacific Food Security Alliance program. 10 senior-level officers from MAF and SROS completed Israeli agriculture innovation training aimed at improving delivery of agriculture extension services and introducing new irrigation and fertigation technology to boost farmers' production and productivity. While postgraduate scholarships were available to all Pacific countries in a wide range of fields, there has been little uptake, and I think it's because it's difficult to find the travel costs for those scholarships. So perhaps ascending governments need to look at those opportunities and take them up. In 2019-2020, an Israeli medical team was mobilized to help Samoa meet the challenges of the tragic measles epidemic. In total, 45 medical teams were mobilized from 15 different countries, including Israel. Every year at the United Nations, there are usually quite a number of UN resolutions that refer to the Israel-Palestine issue. Samoa's position on each resolution depends on the nature of each, our consistent position on some of the issues, and that the resolution does not undermine the two-states solution approach. So, Excellency, Mrs. Yaakoby, we welcome you to Samoa, and we do look forward to strengthened relations between our two countries. So forth.